I just finished reading Daughter of Dragons by Michael G. Manning, and this is the second book in his Wrath of the Storm King, which is a sequel series to one of my all-time favorites, a series that I recommend a lot called Art of the Adept. For me, Art of the Adept is almost right up there with Wheel of Time, Game of Thrones. Okay, it's not quite as epic. It's not quite as sprawling. It doesn't have quite as much depth and character. I mean, those two series stand head and shoulders above many others. But Art of the Adept has a ton of wonderful power progression. It's great high fantasy. There's a lot at stake. A lot of interesting characters. Great cast of characters. One of the best things about the series is the female characters. The series is about William Cartwright, and he's got a mentor who's kind of like his grandfather. However, there's a very strong love interest, Celine. His mother is a strong figure in the series, Arissa. And there are a ton of other characters that make it like so much fun with interpersonal power dynamics and crazy dysfunction. One of the most compelling storylines for me was Celine, who has an incredibly tyrannical, domineering, but very successful father. Her father is the king of the country they live in, King Lanyan, and he's got a big secret behind his power, which I'm not going to give away as a spoiler, but it's a big one. And of course, he's totally corrupt and evil, and she doesn't know it. Most people don't know what he's done to get where he is. The whole thing where she's devoted to this father who seems to have her best interests in mind and is acting fatherly in some ways, and yet there's just all these little hints that there's something up. I just thought that was like such a compelling storyline because in a lot of ways Celine is caught between the things her father wants her to do versus the things her now boyfriend Will, and the main character, wants her to do. That's kind of one of the main plot lines at the heart of the series. It did lead to an ending in book 5 that I think a lot of readers didn't like, to the point where the author tried to address it in a sequel series. I got to the end of that. I thought it was a fitting ending, and yet it was very tragic. And it made me not want to leap right back into anything else he had written. And so I took a break. I read a whole bunch of other stuff. Years went by. But the series remains in the back of my mind. Like I said, it still remains one of the ones I recommend the most. And I'd heard from other readers that the sequel series did address a lot of the problems or, the tragic ending. So I did. I picked it up. It's a lot of fun. The sequel series has just as much oomph as the first series, and I still think Michael G. Manning is one of the best writers out there. Another theme that he covers very well, I think, is kind of broken or divided families. We're talking like this is still an epic fantasy with high stakes and crazy amounts of magic and all that. But, his main character, Will, comes from a broken home where the parents split up and the father remarried and has his own family, and the stepmother of Will doesn't necessarily like him. And then his own mother has, all kinds of issues with the man who left her. It's realistically depicted. I think it touches base with a lot of people in America today, and it's just very well done. He portrays the single mother of Arissa in a very sympathetic, kind light, so there's no disparagement here for what she has to do and what she has to go through. I think it's just a good, honest look at how these really strained and complex family dynamics can play out, especially when the main character is someone very successful or the family is well-to-do and has appearances to keep up and all that. It's all in there. I thought that the height of the Art of the Adept series were books 2, 3, and 4, kind of like the meat of the series. Those were the best, and to me, it was a great exploration of institutional knowledge and kind of both the good and bad of it. It's a magic academy plotline, but so much more. There's a war going on, and the main character leaves to fight and so forth. And, there's like a vampire apocalypse and a lich and all kinds of craziness, dragons, elves. And by the way, these fantasy races, he doesn't play them as a straight trope, which I love. The elves and the dwarves and so forth are very sinister, so are the fae. They're not human, and it's kind of like they're way off somewhere else, and you start to learn, even in the sequel series, that they've got their own very weird secrets and strange biology, which kind of informs how they view humans and how they interact with humans. And it's not as simplistic as like different races or different nations of humans. It definitely is different species interacting, and it's got kind of an alien vibe, which I like a lot. speaking as someone who also writes about strange culture clashes and epic sagas with wars going on and humongous amounts of power being thrown around and crazy weird family dynamics and interpersonal love quadrangles and that sort of thing. I live for the complexity, the crazy nuanced takes, and of course, magic. Once again, the author is Michael G. Manning, and I'm definitely a big fan of his.